Lafayette, Amanla, Baby Fouquier, favorite warrior Blak Panther in the building on this Saturday morning. I know it's been a while since you've seen my face, but I had to come on here and finish what I started, so to speak, with this Inside of the Gambian Museum series. This is part 4 today. This is the last installment of this series. Give me a second. I just want to make sure everything is playing correctly. Okay, and it is playing correctly on the YouTube tip. Sister Julanda, thank you for tuning in. We're going to get through the back half of the Game Museum. So today is going to be a mixture of different types of culture within Senegambian, the land itself. And I'm going to break some things down. And, we're going to get into it. But before we do that, as always, we got to get into
freedom fighter, Dalai Lama from a weed supplier. I'm Muhammad to the rap game, that's my last name. I first should be Elijah, and I need a choir. Freak or flyer, gold medallion, Jesus peace. I'm the one, the real Jesus Maya, cause I'm trying to get niggas to leave the street. And I don't need to be, cause I can easily speak to these niggas through the frequencies to compete with me. You gon' need a priest to preach your sweetest needs, to give a hell of an Easter speech. I keep the heat right there underneath the seat. Got pulled over by the police this week. They asked me why I got this fully loaded piece with me. I say, officer, I'm just trying to make it home peacefully. So I'm riding with a rifle, another iron in the Bible. Call my niggas out in Paris, have them climb up the Eiffel. We don't give a fuck, cause it's all about survival. When you're caught up in the cycle, when you feel like you're entitled to more than what you get in it, and turn you homicidal. Y'all know that I'm the best, but I swear y'all in denial. And they don't wanna say it, cause I'm better than they idol. Got the mind of a disciple when I'm rocking the revival. But I'm soon to be the king, fuck you and your team. Bada boom, bada beam. If you don't like the way I rule my regime, let them up before June, nigga spring. I'm Desmond Tutu, mixed with the Zeus of the Zulus. I'm the leader of the new school. Man, I swear I'm gonna feel like Mandela. I want my troops to feel like Nelson. All these niggas wanna kill Nelson. Y'all gon' make me do 20 years like Nelson. Nelson, I gon' feel like Nelson Mandela. Nelson Mandela. Nelson Mandela. Nelson Mandela. I gon' feel like Nelson Mandela. Nelson Mandela. Nelson Mandela. Side high. Nelson Mandela. Yeah, Nelson Mandela. Get to know your ancestors. Can't tell me they ain't jealous of a 7-gram seller. There was something about Mary, nigga. I was Ben Stella. Now the fan Mellors all the way from Manchester. Can't tell her shit if you ain't never spent time trying to sell a nick just to get the car with the trunk in the front. Shout it, that's an elephant. Intelligent nigga with hella sense. Speak with such eloquence. Ever since I've been on a regiment, niggas been upset with Prince, but let them big while I start a revolution. Seem like when you work hard, you never get your retribution. Niggas sending threats, but I keep something with me. Sound like doo-doo-doo-doo when I'm shooting. The same ones that was singing Huey Newton. Prince to a king, you don't see the evolution. 20 years in the PM, and that's really execution. So I encourage each and every student to stay in school, play it cool, obey the rules, or pay your dues, make a move, take a tool, or write some raps, make a mixtape, a clue, and you can be dope as me, April Fool boy. Trying to get 40 acres in the mule boy. Rhyme with 40 acres in the two-door. I feel like
All right, all right. Shout out to Saha the Prince for the track, and my brother Sean for putting together that video montage. I know y'all not used to seeing me with this background, but had to give up my space today to my queen while she takes care of some business. So I'm in a different space today. Let me get the presentation up so we can get started. All right. Inside the National Museum of the Gambian, Part 4. Words of Nori, Part 4, motherfucker. Let's get into it. So, we're going to be going into the Sonike Marabout Wars. So, if you don't know anything about the Sonike people, these are the people that founded Ouagadougou, or what is known as ancient Ghana, and they converted to Islam in about the 10th century. So, from this point of the museum forward, you're going to see some syncretism. You're going to see some Islamic things. You're going to see some traditional African spiritual things of different ethnic groups uh, intertwined. So just want to let you know from this point, some things may look, kind of weird because you're like, well, that's Islam. Why are they doing this? Why are they doing that? In Africa, religions are different. Let me just say that. And one is not defined by religion as like his basically his state of being. People go back and forth, is what I'm trying to say. Hold on, hold on, hold on. Okay, just making sure that it was still playing. Okay, so what I'm about to show you is a spear. You can see where or who the spear is from, and it's called a Esau. And it says after the Imam of Esau converted to Islam, he fashioned a spear into a staff for his symbol of authority. So this is said spear. It was hard to get this spear in one shot because of its length, but you can kind of see towards the top that this was once a spear, and like the caption said, he fashioned it into a staff when he got the title of Imam. So, like I said, the Sonike people converted to Islam in the 10th century. So, what you're having is traditional African iconography or weaponry being transposed into something of authority for Islam. Here is another type of staff. Uh, if you look in the left, in the bottom left hand corner, you will see my name. Yes, this person has my name. He is an Njai. He converted to Islam, so this is his staff of authority. You've probably seen things like this all around Africa. Dolls that do certain type of things. They represent certain type of things within different cultures. As you can see, these dolls are dressed in a certain manner. You know, some people will say this is more as Islamic dress on the right. Some people will say the one on the left is more traditional. Well, let's get into what these dolls actually are and what they represent. They are fertility dolls. They are called Kayingling fertility dolls. They can range between roughly 7 inches and 1 meter long in size. The dolls dress like children and intimate feeding them. Imitate feeding them. This is believed to bring success with pregnancy. These dolls are usually dressed with a mix of cotton and nylon fabric, and on these particular dolls, the hair is artificial. They are made on the request by local tailors. So you have a woman that has had issues with fertility, issues with the success of pregnancy. She would go to, her local priest or something. He would make these dolls and fashion them in a certain type of manner. She used to keep the dolls with her throughout the pregnancy until the children are born. I was delighted to see this item because I had heard of this item, but I had never actually seen it. This is a palm wine tapper's belt. If you know anything about palm wine and palm wine tappers, this is a extremely respected profession because palm wine is one of those things like how we look at Budweiser in America or Patron, or it's a big deal. Like if you got some palm wine, it's gonna be a good time. But you have to learn how to extract the palm wine from certain trees. So this is the belt with the tools on it that they use to extract palm wine. Specific in my personal life, palm wine is a staple of Ogun, one of his favorite items to give. So I was happy to see the tools actually used to extract this palm wine. What you're looking at now, uh, this is a type of ritual going on for initiates. So he's wearing this helmet mask with the horns, being celebrated as someone that is being welcomed into a society. He's being welcomed. You see the large crowd of people, the children, the adults, the priests helping him through this process. So this is like a graduation, so to speak. And this is the actual item that was in the museum. Um, and as you can see, the horns are made of some type of animal, maybe an antelope, maybe a buffalo, I'm not sure, maybe a calf because of the length, but it's fashioned into a mask. And this is when you basically receive your degree in some respect. This is a Jola woman being, she's an initiate as well. So the Jola people, which are different from the Wolof people, which are different from the Serer people, uh, but they all live in the Senegambian region. So this is why Gambia Museum has all these different ethnic groups in their museum. And this is a Jola initiate being initiated into the original system of the land. As you can see, there's a bird that is seems to have been sacrificed before her, and she's going through the process to receive her rights in her ethnic group. This is a young initiate. She's so cute. And what she's holding is a staff. This is a staff of her tradition. And they decorate the staffs. The colors mean things. Everything that you see that she's wearing, from her clothes to what she's covering her head with to what she has on, means something in their tradition. These are more of what the style of what she would be carrying. And as she gets older, she'll acquire more icons of authority. You see to the right, that's a initiate hat. So the further you move up in rank, the more you get, the more things you receive. You might look at this staff and think, man, that's similar to what you seen on the Lion King, where Rafiki had in his hand. Kind of looks similar. But yes, this is the Jola people of Senegambia. So it talks a little about the initiation process here. During the initiation, young men of the Jola tribe, the young boy dances with the decorated staff in beads and shells. The staff design varies, having little spiritual significance. Its use is more practical. The boy shakes it and pounds it against the gourds during celebrations. It is a form of musical instrument with the shells making a distinct sound. I also know that part of this isn't true when they say that it has little spiritual significance. That's kind of not true. They do also use these staves to invoke deities. The kangarang. The kangarang is a Mandinka masquerade. They perform during initiation ceremonies. It can have many appearances, which vary and based on the performance and purpose. Most often, it is used to bring good fortune upon the community to ward off dark spirits. Now, you will be in a city or a town or an area in Gambia, and a random kangarang will appear. It is not like they will tell you about a festival or something. He will just appear. They do appear in festivals, but they will come out randomly. Black Panther, how do you know that kangarang just come out randomly? Because I have a lot of information on kangarangs. This one is actually during a festival. There is a festival where they bring out multiple types of masquerades in the Senegambia area and they put on a performance. So this one is not random, but this is an authentic kangarang. Notice the style of dress. Notice the two blades in his hand. He bangs these blades together uh, as kind of like a way to ward off negativity and evil spirits, to scare them away in kind of a way. This is another type of kangarang. Again, the dress is different, but you see the two blades, right? And the people around this kangarang are kind of like the priest in charge of the masquerade, uh, to guide it through the town. And this is when I actually met one. When I was in Gambia 2 years ago, the day I was leaving, a kangarang appeared in the village. So you have to kind of communicate with the people around the kangarang. And I asked, could he ask the kangarang for a picture? Because I needed a picture with a kangarang. I mean, this is Mandinka traditional spirituality right here, and you never know when you're going to see another one. So I did get this picture with the kangarang in Gambia, um, and I'm glad I did because, like I said, you never know when you'll see another. Kangarang has many types, each used for different purposes. One of the most important roles of the kangarang is to scare away evil spirits, which the clanging of the swords function is, especially during initiation rite, the passage from childhood to adulthood. We often overlook that point. We often think about initiation as just becoming into priesthood, but there's so many initiation rites in Africa just to be a man or a woman. That may be something that we need to really look into because in the Western world, we don't have that. Think about that. A right to just be a man or a right to be a woman, not time or not, age. We're talking about you have to go through a right. And if you never go through this right, they don't look at you as an adult. In Gambian culture, the kangarang is from the Mandinka dialect. Those who dress up like the kangarang also lead the initiation of boys into the bush schools. And the bush schools is like what I just described, taking young boys and teaching them how to be men. If you read Malidoma Some's Water and the Spirit, he describes a similar ritual amongst his people in Burkina Faso. So this information is talking about circumcision and the rite of passage into adulthood that happens in the bush school, secluded deep in the forest area. There has been a conflict with the Muslim communities uh, with this practice continuing. They have bumped heads, so to speak, with this being a rite of passage. It's common for the participants' parents to put charms on their body for protection when they go into the bush. They stay in the bush for up to 3 months. The children do that are being taught. They're taught moral lessons through song, as well as a dance called Kingo. The Kangarang and the Mandika masquerade protects these initiates during their stay, and it wards off the evil spirits. The end of the ceremony is signified with singing and dancing, and all the initiates wear traditional clothes. And this at the bottom talks about them being covered in talisman and charms and animal skins and cow hides and things, that are very important in their ethnic group to their spiritual tradition. But like I said, this tradition is, I won't say dying, but significantly being marginalized or reduced because of the Islamic conflict. And this is going over the names of some of the Kangarang dress. So the Jamba Kangarang is half dressed in red from the head to the waist. It is a famous ceremonial mask. It's used for entertainment and reinforcement during work. We have another, it's a mix of leaves from the waist down, and the upper body and arms are wrapped in bark, and legs are painted with a type of mud. Remember that. Farah Kangarang, called Wulang Wulang, it wears a costume comprised of shredded bark and camel foot tree, which the rest of the masquerade choose during the initiation period. Is normally out when evil spirits are thought to be affecting the community and the initiates. And then you have the Jambo Jabale, which comes in the green dressed costume. And this word means the leaves never die. So I wanted to get you a visual representation of that, which are these. So these would come out when they feel like things is going wrong. Going back here, these are some different kangarangs. The Wuri kangarangs dressed in red and green. The Wufang is dressed in completely in red. So the Wufang would be this. Okay. So different types. And they say that the Wufang, also wards off evil spirits, but is believed to be able to fly. Only esteemed members of the community can wear this particular dress. Have I seen one fly? No. But that is the tale. Now we're getting into the syncretism, the Sufi kangarang, which if anybody knows about Sufis are connected to a particular type of Islam. It's a night masquerade dressed in green and mahogany leaves from the mid calf, and with a red cape and a basket. Shells and horns are worn as a headgear. Is performed based on a community advice regarding rainy season. If the community gives enough charity in the prior months, they believe it will guarantee them sufficient rain. So it's kind of interesting that you have a Sufi Islam Mandinka syncretism that is a rain masquerade. Yeah, kind of wild. This is called a kumpo. A kumpo. It's a Jola masquerade. This picture is from the back of the masquerade. It has a like not a horn, but like a type of pointed stick that comes out of the forehead, and it uses this stick to balance and twirl. The leaves will twirl in like a clockwise manner as he balances on this stick, and it's believed to ward off negativity as well. This is a dope ass picture with the fire and everything. I had to put this in there. This is more of what we talked about earlier with the kangling, the ritual sticks. I just put them all together basically. These are just things I found in the back of the museum. This is a wood carving. I forget what they actually put in this wood carving, but I really like the craftsmanship. It's very detailed. You see the design on the outside. It actually looks like something I see amongst the Yoruba people, but very great craftsmanship. So now we're going into the Iron Age of technology. So we're going 500 BC to 800 AD. As anyone knows, the metallurgy Iron Age propelled Africa in a mode of production that was higher than when we used wood or other substances. So these are what traditional iron smelting furnaces looked like. So if you come across one of these in the forest, you don't know what the hell this is. It's probably an iron smelting furnace that's been since abandoned. So now we're looking at raw iron, iron ore, and iron slag. So once the raw iron is obtained from the furnace, there was still much labor involved. The smith had to reheat and pound the metal several times before he could get a solid piece large enough for the tool or weapon he wished to make. This repeated heating and hammering is called forging. So if you ever hear, forged by Odin himself, as they say in Marvel, this is what they talk about. That is the process of forging. The iron ore or the laterite rock, which is abundant throughout the Senegambia, has a high iron content. Much of it is ore quality. The iron slag is a waste of ore that has been separated from the usable iron after being heated in the furnace. So all of these types of iron you find in the museum. Don't ever let nobody tell you that we was just savages. I say that because to your left, you're looking at a drill. Yes, they had drills. Crazy, right? To your right, you're talking about other iron tools that they use for farming. Those are basically hoes. So yeah, we had tools, we had society, we had development, and the evidence is still in our museums on the continent to this day. Iron Age cultures in the Senegambian. There are at least four different proto-historic cultures, culture areas of the archaeological significance in the Senegambian. We talk about the megalith sites in the Middle Gambian River Valley. We could talk about the shell mounds amongst the Atlantic coast, the Imbar, the burial sites in Western Senegal, the village Midian, the rubbish heaps in Middle Senegal River Valley. And then they talk about the zones and why what they use, because they use carbon 14 dates for the shell mounds and the other sites to date these things. The evidence is still there. Chimpanzees were at one point common in Gambia until about the 20th centuries. Uh, Now found here only as a part of a research project that's going on in the Baboon Island National Park. Chimpanzees are still a part of traditional stories and beliefs in the Senegambia region. So chimpanzees were once very abundant, and you can find them in our traditional stories, but they have since become less abundant for reasons that are not known to me. Chimpanzees are distant biological evolutionary cousins. These are the musical instruments. And I had to take this wide shot because there's so damn many. You got like lutes, you got fiddles, you got horns, you got banjos, you got all types of musical instruments in this part of the museum. And this is just some of them. These are things we created without any help from Europeans. I want people to know that. It's just like these are interdependent, independent, as I should say, creations without influence from Western powers. So when they say all music has an African root, show them things like this. This is a fiddle on my left. On the right, it's an instrument called the kora, which is a Mandinka instrument. It is known as the Koring Bato or Gor Koring, is a reference to the Mandinka ruler and a warrior. It's a magnificent harp flute with 21 strings, probably originated in Guinea. It is played by the Jale, a professional board, as an accompany to the traditional praise songs. Now, that word Jale is the same word as griot. Same word. Shouts out to Kofi Piche. The sorong is a lesser known variety with the width of 15 to 19 strings, also found in Guinea. We have to know that that Senegambia area with Guinea is all one region at one point. So this is why they keep referencing Guinea. While the kora may be regarded as a courtly instrument, the more portable konting used to be associated with war. The Mandinka warriors were accompanied by their bards who urged them on in battle. So when you see old Civil War depictions of drummers and musicians on the battlefield, just understand they didn't create that. We've been doing that. These are flutes. Yeah. Different types of flutes. Man, stop playing with us, man. This is called a bombolo, and when farmers were either watching their crops or watering their crops or needed to be entertained, they would play this. Kind of like a drum almost, but it gives a specific sound. This is a xylophone. Things that people never give us credit for. This is a freaking xylophone, man. You don't believe me? Here we go. An African xylophone, known as a bow or a balafon, is a widely distributed throughout the continent. So it's not even specific to Senegambia. It is one of the principal instruments of the Mandinka and is associated in their tradition with the sorcerer king, Sumanguru Conte, his own great bala, which his own great bala was to have magical powers, in which he would play it after each battle and victory. I bet you didn't think about that when you see a xylophone. You probably won't look at a xylophone ever the same again. The keys of the Mandinka bala range between 15 and 19. The bala of the balanta may go up to 27 keys, and it is played by two people. The bells worn on the musician's wrists have a similar function to the jingles or the string instruments and drums. This is a banjo. So when people say, that bluegrass music isn't African music, they lying. Look at that. They call it the Algonquin. Folk musicians of the Jola tribe played this. What does that say? It is an obvious predecessor to the American banjo. It is a banjo-like construction, identical method of a right-hand claw hammer technique, and its social role is the sound of the accounting is very similar to that of the early American gourd banjo. I ain't making this up. Has three strings tuned to 5/1 and a flat 7. One of the longest strings tuned of the flat 7 is noted. The banjo today has 5 strings, and it is tuned to a variety of ways. All the strings have a high drone, are noted and explained in Jules Diata. Banjo, that's our stuff. Remember that. These are the drums, and they vary. I know you see that picture of the warrior with the drum. He look like he about to go. He about to go get active. So this drum is called the suruba. It is a drum played by the Mandinka people. It is classified into three, namely Kutiri Inding, Imbeling, and Jukurang. The suruba is made out of goat skin, dimble wood, pegs, wing wood, merce ropes tied around, here ropes. These are just different types of ropes. And the straps are called made of samba kuka, and it's worn over the shoulder. All three drummers use both stick and their bare hands to beat this drum. I want to highlight that most drums in Africa are made of some type of animal. So, brothers of the different diet, the alternative diets that do not include animals, you might not want to be a drum player. The doom doom is also a susu drum made of cow skin, kai wood. It serves as a complement to the djembe. The doom doom has two faces besides the cow skin on the face of the drum, and all other materials used are the same as the djembe. However, it is beaten by sticks on both sides. The drums are used in festivals for harvesting, naming, christening, marriage, circumcision ceremonies, and wrestling. I want you to know that doom doom is the same word as doom doom. So you will find this drum in the Yoruba tradition as well. This drum is known as the talking drum. If you've ever heard the doom doom being played, it actually imitates the tonal markings of the Yoruba language and tells stories to include verses of the Odu Ifa and songs that act out historical events. That's a doom doom. So those ropes, they squeeze those ropes to make different tonal sounds. It's my favorite drum. Blak Pantha, what are you doing next to that masquerade in this museum? Well, I want you to look at the first picture and look at the bottom. There's a name. The name says Zimba. This masquerade is called a Zimba or a Simba. Yes, the exact name of the character in The Lion King. Let's see if you can follow this. After the fall of Mali, lots of people ran into the Senegambia region. Mali, whose champion and greatest historical figure is not Mansa Musa, is actually Sundiata Keita. Sundiata Keita's life is what Lion King, the movie, is based upon. All right? So Sundiata Keita, the greatest king in Mali history, his life is loosely told through the story of The Lion King by Disney. In the movie Lion King, Simba is a lion, right? This masquerade you're looking at with that name is representative of a lion. Do you understand what I'm trying to tell you? I may have forgot to mention that the reason why I'm posing with this masquerade is that this is my masquerade. When I say my, I mean this masquerade is for people with the last name Njai. Because my last name means last name of the lion that roars. Yeah, blew my mind too. These are pictures of modern day Simba. You can see the lion influence. They come out, they have whistles, they do dances, they dress as lions, they roar as lions, they gallop as lions. They are telling a story, a historical significance, and why the lion is our totem as Injais. Here are other pictures of Simbas. As you can see, they come in different uh, colors, but you can see the lion influence, the mane, the way the guy at the bottom is pouncing. I couldn't leave this without highlighting this person. So in 1994, there was a coup in Gambia. The coup was to remove a leader um, from Gambia rule, and who took over from there was a man named Yahya Jammeh. People in the African community and Pan African community alike know Yahya Jammeh because of his firm stance against homosexuality in the West. But that's pretty much all we know about Yahya Jammeh in the West. I'm here to tell you that even though Yahya Jammeh took that stance and we applaud him for that, he was not a good president in Gambia. He was not a good president in Gambia, and people suffered under his dictatorship and his rule. Some of my family personally have suffered under his dictatorship and rule. But in 1994 started his reign, and he was removed from power, I want to say 3 years ago. And the current president is Mr. Adama Barrow. That is the end of my presentation. That be's it. I definitely had to finish this, not only because it's great information, um, but Gambia doesn't get talked about enough. Not a lot of people go to Gambia. So this is something that I thought was important, and I quickly realized walking through this museum, it was going to have to be in different parts. So if you didn't see part one, part two, part three, they're still up on the channel. You can go and look at part one, two, and three. Um, you know, I'm looking in the comments for some questions. Yeah, this isn't true. We like to think this. Unfortunately, there's people that abandon their traditional way of life, and it wasn't just for trading purposes. They were convinced to walk the path of Islam. Yes, in fact, it started in Senegal. I'm not sure any evidence use of okra. Ocha. I'd have to get back to you on that. I'm not sure. You have to go and look at the other parts. We've already covered the Stone Age. I believe we covered the Stone Age in part one. I'm just looking through for the any questions. They're not. Wolof and Jollof are not different people. It's just the pronunciation. Um, Over time, the J became a W. So when you see Jollof rice, we're originally the Jollof people. It wasn't originally a W. 'Cause- 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 'C Oh, if you're in New Orleans, they're at Congo Square today for the International Arts Festival. Pop through, holler at Barry. That sounds good, man. I wish I was in New Orleans. I sure would pop up. I want to go to Congo Square so bad. So much African history in New Orleans in general. You could say it's the most African place in America. So much history there. Brother Sean was good. The man all the Aboriginals hate. Ah, be on their top, boy. He be on their head, man. He be on their head. The pseudo slayer himself. Yeah. Like, share, subscribe as always. Pick up our books. Support the channel. I'm gonna be doing shorter Yoruba lessons on the channel. I'm trying to formalize it now. So that's what you can look to see uh, from me going forward. Uh, the days of me putting together these presentations are pretty much over. I'm going to be doing short lessons on different topics of probably Yoruba culture. So I will see y'all in the whirlwind, as Brother Garvey said. It's been a long day already on Saturday. I had to get up and hit the gym. But I appreciate y'all stopping through. Appreciate y'all stopping by, man. You know how the Mossy do. You know how we keep our head down. We keep to the research. We don't do any distractions or anything like that. So I will leave y'all with that. And as always, man, spears are flying, pseudos are crying. Until next time.